Today I want to talk about converting this really cool 4-shaft pattern, hand weaving, number 72029. Isn't this really pretty? It's kind of like a basket weave style, and I really like it. And I want to convert this from the 4-shaft pattern over to be able to use it on my rigid heddle loom. And so I started off with changing the original 4-shaft pattern so that I could thread it through the 3 heddles on my rigid heddle loom. And so I wrote it first of all from the dots that it started as, and I changed that over to numbers and switched it to 4321, 4321, 4321. Okay, and then it continues on across the heddle, 4321. And then I show here in the diagram how that's going to thread through the heddles. See, we've got 3 heddles, heddle 3, heddle 2, heddle 1. And each of those represents the threads here. But you'll notice there's also a 4. Okay, that number 4, that's kind of hiding in the slots. It's a float thread that runs straight through the slots, and it just moves right straight through the slots. It doesn't actually have a heddle assigned to it, and that's really kind of cool. It's kind of like magic, and I like it. And so we're just going to run that one right straight through, bloop, right straight through to the front beam. See, there's an imaginary front beam up here. So number 4 thread runs straight through, and then the number 3 thread goes to heddle 3. See, that's the hole in heddle 3. But in order to be able to get to the front beam, it's going to have to go through the slots of heddle 2 and heddle 1. And then the number 2 thread, it's going to go through a slot on heddle 3, which means it's just going to slide around in there. And then it's going to go through the hole on heddle 2, so that when you lift heddle 2 or push down heddle 2, that's going to move with it. And then it's going to go through the slot on heddle 1 in order to get up to the front. Okay? And then the number 1 thread is going to go through the slot on heddle 3, the slot on heddle 2, and then it's going to go into the hole on heddle 1. Okay, now what's really important is that we don't have any crisscross threads, okay? There's no crisscross threads going all the way through this, okay? Number 4, straight through. Number 3, pick up here, there, okay? And you'll notice there's no crisscross threads. That's extremely important, because if you crisscross your threads, your heddles are not going to move. Okay, so this is the conversion of that pattern. Number 72029. This is a conversion on how to thread it through my heddles. Now, but that's not going to get you, that's not going to actually get you weaving. That's just going to get you warped. Okay, so now you're warped. Now what do you do? Now you've got to take a look at the actual tie-up. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. What do I do now? Okay, this was the tie-up. The tie-up was all these little blobs, okay? And these little blobs here, I rewrite these little blobs as numbers, okay? So this is a number 1. That's a number 1. And then this is a 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 4. And this is a number 1 and a 3. And then we have just a number 4. And then we have a 1. Make sure I'm staying in line here. A 1, a 3, and a 4. And then we have a 2 and a 4. Okay? See, all I did was just count how high up those went, and just converted those over to numbers. Okay. And the reason why I did that is because those are actually shafts. Those are actually shafts. That's shaft 1, shaft 2, shaft 3, shaft 4. Okay. Now, understand that those are all lifted on a 4-shaft loom. Okay. All these shafts, those would all be lifted. They don't do any lowering on a 4-shaft loom. They only lift. Now, on a rigid heddle loom, though, we can also lower. And that's important to know that, because we don't have a 4th shaft. We're only running 3 heddles. Remember that 4th one? That 4th one is magically running through the slots only. So, anytime that it says 4, we don't have a 4. We have to do the opposite of what it says to do. We have to, so if it says number 1 only, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with number 1. And I can still lift that. Add lift direction for heddles. Okay, I can still lift that number 1. We're still going to lift that. But here it says a number 4. I can't do a number 4. So instead, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to lower, whoops, we're going to lower, this is going to be a lower. We're going to lower, can you see me? Whoops, let me scoot that back into your vision. I'm going to lower, this is a lower, I'm going to lower number 3. I'm going to lower number 3 instead of raising 1, 2, and 4. Because it'll accomplish the same thing on our loom. On our rigid heddle loom, when we lower number 3, we will in effect raise 1, 2, and 4. By lowering number 3, numbers 1, 2, and 4 will be higher than number 3. And it'll create a illusion of raising 1, 2, and 4. But actually, we're only lowering number 3. So, lower number 3 in this action. Okay. Now, the next movement that it told us to do in the original was to raise 1 and 3. We can do that. I'm cool with that. Okay. So, we're going to raise numbers 1 and 3. And raise those. Raise those. Okay. But the next action, it says to raise number 4. I can't do that. I can't raise number 4. I don't have a number 4. So what do I do instead? I lower. Remember, we're going to lower. I'm going to lower the opposite. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. By lowering numbers 1, 2, and 3, I will in effect raise that fourth thread, that fourth warp thread. That will, when I lower 1, 2, and 3, that fourth warp thread that slots only, it'll pop up to the top. Bloop, pop right up there. And so anytime it tells me to raise number 4, I'm going to lower 1, 2, and 3 instead. Okay, the next movement, again, it tells me to raise 1, 3, and 4. Nope, can't do that. So what am I going to do instead? I'm going to lower number 2. I'm going to lower number 2. Lower number 2. There we go. Okay, the next movement, again, it tells me to raise numbers 2 and 4. Can't do that. So what am I going to do instead? I'm going to lower numbers 1 and 3. 1 and 3. There we go. That is my conversion on the tie-up. Okay, that's called a tie-up. Now we need to look at the treadling order. Now, okay, the video skips a beat there for just a second because I noticed that I was out of the video screen and you missed a little bit of information. So I had to delete and re-record. So here we are. This is the treadling order, the original treadling order, and then this is where I converted it and rewrote it. On the first movement, you'll notice that I converted it to be a up for the first movement, and that'll be that I move the first heddle 1 up. On the second movement, I'm going to move heddle 3 and only heddle 3 down. On the third movement, I'm going to move heddles 1 and 3 up. On the fourth movement, I'm going to move heddles 1, 2, and 3 down. On the fifth movement, I'm going to move only heddle 2 down. And on the sixth movement, I'm going to move heddles 1 and 3 down. And then I'm going to repeat that. And I'm going to do that again and again, over and over and again until I get my pattern. And I complete my project. And so that is the conversion of the tie-up and the conversion of the treadling order.